Good evening. I'm joined by Captain Carolyn Kinney. Captain Kinney is the commander of our McLean District Station. Earlier this evening, loss prevention officers notified Fairfax County police officers of a theft that was in progress. Our police officers immediately responded to the scene. They were led by the loss prevention officer to the person who was suspected of committing a theft. Our officers approached that person and he fled. We chased him. A uniformed Fairfax County police officer gave chase, and a plainclothes Fairfax County police officer gave chase. They chased the theft suspect, outside of the store, and probably a quarter of a mile or so later, the suspect approached a small wooded area, a small patch of trees and brush. The suspect ran into that area. Our officers continued to chase him into that area, and at some point in time, our police officers, both Fairfax County police officers, discharged their firearms. The circumstances surrounding the discharge, of course, are under investigation. We struck the suspect. I don't know how many times yet. The suspect was afforded immediate medical attention by Fairfax County police officers. He was transported to a local hospital and died. Our major crimes detectives, our internal affairs detectives are out here. We're going to be holding this scene not only into the rest of tonight, but into the morning hours as well. We need to be afforded significant daylight to effect a crime scene search as we search for evidence. I do not know if our suspect was armed at this time. That's why we're going to hold the scene, and we're going to search for any evidence that the suspect may have discarded during the foot chase. We have a commitment, of course, to fair and impartial investigations following any officer-involved shooting, and we're going to do the same thing this time around as well. We'll work collaboratively with the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. We know how much scrutiny these officer-involved shootings and the scrutiny that follows these officer-involved shootings, not just here but around the country, and it's something we take very, very seriously. So why don't I pause there and take any questions?
Chief, I'll ask you questions, but if you just want to look toward the
Sure.
lens here, I appreciate it. Any past encounters with this person? Was he known to the office?
The suspect who was shot this evening is absolutely very well known to law enforcement in the National Capital Region. He in fact has a significant violent criminal history. We're not identifying him at this point. The only thing I'll say about the suspect who was shot tonight and passed away is that he's an adult male, and his encounters with local law enforcement in the National Capital Region span back many years, and it's a violent criminal history.
Fairfax resident too, or elsewhere?
I don't know his place of residency at the moment. We'll clarify where he lives now at our follow-up press conference.
So the suspect didn't fire at officers first in this case, or is that still being under investigation?
So I want to be really careful when I describe what the suspect may have been or may not have been in his possession at the time our police officers discharged their firearms. He was about 20-30 yards into a pretty thick wooded patch. So that's why we're holding that scene, because we want to make sure that if anything was discarded, that we have an opportunity to identify it and recover it. So that's why at this moment, I don't want to say something now that later proves to be untrue 24, 48 hours from now. I do not know if he was armed. We're going to certainly examine every square inch of not only the foot chase that lasted about a quarter of a mile, but we're also going to examine the area where the officer-involved shooting took place as well. We're going to conduct a very thorough crime scene investigation.
What's the protocol then for when officers, can fire at a suspect, especially for something that seems like a shoplifting case here?
Well, the police officers were notified by loss prevention earlier about a crime that was taking place, a theft that was taking place. The exact nature of that theft I'm not ready to describe yet, because that's under investigation. this county, Fairfax County, has had a long-standing commitment to Tysons Corner Center. In fact, we have a full-time Tysons urban team that consists of about 16 full-time police officers that are assigned 24/7, 365 to this location, because it's that important for public safety, not only in Fairfax County, but folks who come here every day from the National Capital Region. 25 million people come here every year. So our commitment, our county commitment, our police department's commitment to public safety here is long-standing, and it's something we take great pride in. So when we're alerted to criminal activity that's in progress, it's our long-standing duty and responsibility to investigate that. In fact, that's what happened tonight, and the suspect ran from our police officers. I don't know why he ran, and we chased him, and at some point during that chase, something happened that's still under investigation that prompted our 2 Fairfax County police officers to discharge their firearms. That is what is under investigation.
I'm sorry, 2 questions about the officers, if you can. The first, were they assigned to that team that's always at the mall?
Yes. I'm not identifying the two officers yet. We will in a follow-up press conference, just like we're not identifying the person who was shot, the suspect either. We'll do that, but we have to be sensitive to next of kin notifications.
Right. And then the other about the officers is, were they wearing body camera footage? Do you know?
So thank you for that question. The question is regarding body-worn camera. So our uniformed Fairfax County police officer absolutely was wearing a body camera. That's crucial to the investigation. It's crucial not only to our understanding about what happened tonight, but for the community as well. So thank you for asking that question. That will be, again, we have a public release policy that's been in effect just over a year or so in Fairfax County. We will share with our community the body-worn camera footage of this incident, and our commitment to our community is that we do that within 30 days. So I certainly expect that we'll be doing that as well in this particular case.
Chief, could you describe this area? Is it on the Tysons property, or is it in Fairfax County?
It was on the property, Jackie. The initial crime that was reported to us occurred inside the shopping center. We made first initial contact with the suspect inside. He ran outside. And when he ran outside, we chased him. And that foot chase lasted at the very, very most a quarter of a mile. And the area where he ran into finally before the discharging took place is a relatively thick patch of trees and shrubs. It's very thick, and that's why we're going to need significant daylight going into tomorrow to really finish up our crime scene search and to do a really thorough job.
Chief, you said that you don't know if he had a weapon, so it didn't seem like the shots were fired from the suspect. In your experience, what could have provoked the 2 officers to fire their weapon?
We don't know what we don't know right now. I know that our officers discharged their firearms, hit the suspect at least one time. I'll have a clearer answer on that in the coming days. I do not know what was in the suspect's possession at the time of this shooting. If I knew, I'd share it with you. I don't know, and it's too early right now for me to speculate what may or may not have been in his hands or on his person. Again, we have to really go over every square inch of this patchy area of trees and shrubbery to make sure we collect every relevant piece of evidence that can help us really get to the bottom of what happened here tonight. Neither of the Fairfax County police officers were injured, but again, it's our commitment to do this thoroughly and objectively and consistent with the expectations of our community.
To follow up on that, what are the protocols specifically for when officers aren't allowed to fire during, whether it's an active chase or anything like that?
Well, I don't want to speculate why the officers discharged their firearms. Typically, if I understand your question the way you intend to ask it, police officers will discharge their firearms when they're in fear for their lives or the lives of others. Again, our investigators, our detectives, both our major crime detectives and our internal affairs detectives will ask all those probing questions as this investigation moves forward. And again, the body camera footage that we have recovered will be shared with our community as well. We've done that each and every time since we've had this public release policy, and we intend to do that this time as well.
Chief, you described both officers, one being uniformed and the other in plain clothes. Over the course of the chase, a lot of times you have these kind of encounters. Do you know of any commands that the officers gave to this person as they were running into the woods? Is there any kind of stop, identifying themselves as officers, or saying, drop it, anything that might give us some indication about what the officers may have
certainly,
said?
and I look forward to sharing, and thank you for that question. I look forward to sharing with you all the verbal commands that were afforded to the suspect by our police officers. Were there verbal commands? Absolutely there were. What they were word for word is something that I look forward to sharing with the media, with the community. We just need to get a little further along in the investigation before I'm in a position to share all those pertinent details that I know you want answers to. We do too. And when we know those answers, we'll share them with our community.
Chief, do you have an age of the suspect, the person killed? And also, the second question I have is, how long were the officers to this part of this unit assigned?
They're both veteran officers. I don't know the length of service for each one just yet. I'll have that at a follow-up press conference, and I'll describe the person who was shot tonight as an adult male. We know that he was with another person, another male, earlier in the evening that we have yet to identify. So we're seeking to identify that person as well. That person was not involved in the suspected theft. That person was not involved in the foot chase, but it's someone that we will be attempting to identify as well to help us answer as many questions as we possibly can.
Has this person
And I'll only describe the suspect in this case, as I have earlier, as an adult male.
Has this person also had other theft charges or convictions in particular to this location?
Yeah, so I don't want to get too specific regarding the criminal history, and when we share the name of the person with you all, you certainly have your own ways of following up on this information. But I do think it's important to share that he's well known to law enforcement in the National Capital Region, and he has a violent criminal history.
Chief, I know this is a little different than other cases that have happened here in Tysons over the last year, but are you concerned about the perception of safety in this area, that people may feel unsafe in this area?
Well, so many people come through this area every day, and it's a destination location not only for Fairfax County residents, but for Washingtonians and beyond. So we know how important this location is to many people, and that's why our public safety commitment here is so robust. We have 16 police officers that are assigned full-time to our team here. They work every day around the clock to ensure that this location remains, and I use that in the present tense. This location remains an absolute safe destination for shoppers, for people going to dinner, or people pursuing entertainment.
One additional question for you, and unfortunately, this obviously went through the parking lot. Any witnesses in the parking lot that you guys were able to question about, what was going on?
So we are looking for witnesses right now. 1-866-411-TIPS is the number to Crime Solvers. 1-866-411-TIPS. If anyone saw any part of what happened tonight, either inside or outside, we want them to come forward to help us put these circumstances together. And again, I apologize for the lack of exact specificity regarding all your questions. Your questions are our questions. We're going to pursue those questions vigorously. It's what our detectives do, and we'll work collaboratively again with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and we'll get the answers. And when we get the answers, we're going to share the answers along with our body camera footage.
Did you say the specific store where the initial theft happened, or was it a number of stores?
Now, I have not said that yet, and that will be an additional detail at our follow-up press conference.
And these officers are on administrative duty?
Yes, the officers will be in a amended duty capacity while this investigation moves forward.
And the road closure through the morning as well, or will the roads reopen before the morning? I know you said you're going to be here until the morning.
So there's going to be a patch where the incident took place, where the roads are going to be shut down for just a short amount of time. There were no closures tonight of any of the stores in the surrounding community, but our detectives and our crime scene investigators need time and need space to thoroughly examine the scene of this incident.